I slept about 8 hours, but that's over the course of the whole film. And you can't get anything in Spain. Like, you can't get, you know, the things you get here, those over-the-counter sleep aids and all that stuff. You just, melatonin, which is like, you know, perfectly legit herbal supplement here, is like crack over there. like calling home and seeing if people could ship it in a teddy bear. Just stuff it in a teddy bear's ass and send it over.
I want to make sure that you guys have some time to ask some questions. There have to be a few. Okay, we'll start in the front.
You introduced steak into the box. How come you didn't
There was no room for anything.
Well, he tried to put Joan Rivers in there.
Well, for those who didn't hear, this nice lady has asked, how is it possible that I'm so good looking? The question is, I also wonder, Frank.
I do too, we all do.
Yeah, yes.
It's the tip of everyone's mouth.
Right there.
What made Brian, what made you decide to do this? Other than, what was the motivation behind taking the role really?
He's asking what the motivation was behind taking the role. It was similar to his. It was kind of impossible, and it was this great. It felt like Hitchcock. It felt like modern day Hitchcock. Honestly, that's the real reason. It was an incredible narrative challenge, intrinsically tied with an incredible technical challenge. The narrative part was sort of my responsibility. The rest was his. And you know, and also Rodrigo, I think I'm underplaying how effective this letter is that he wrote. It was pretty amazing. I mean, you really, I can only be as good as my director. I mean, this film is a director's medium as much as we actors love to take as much credit as possible. But you know, he's the architect and he's the engineer, and you know, I would literally do a broad, ridiculous rated R comedy with him if he would have me. I would do anything.
I could kiss him now.
Save it.
You on the aisle there on the back, yeah.
How was it for both of you?
No, choose. For both of you, no.
Okay.
You have to choose. Show your personality. Be brave.
How was it for you to work with just one actor on set most of the time? How was it to have that relationship with one person rather than having to work with an entire cast day to day?
Well, from the very first moment, we knew from our first meeting that it was going to be a two-people dance. So we needed to trust totally each other. And I must say that he's the best dance partner a heterosexual director can ask for.
But really? The heterosexual part? You promised some things you haven't delivered, my friend.
You know, actually, the nightmare of shooting an entire movie like this inside a box is not doing that inside a box, but doing it in real time. Because, yeah, you have only one actor, and you cannot cut to the other actor or to the reaction if something doesn't work. He has to be perfect and honest the whole time. And even physically, in his position or whatever. Because if something is wrong and then you cut to him, you are going to notice. So everything has to be a perfect choreograph. I don't know where I'm looking at actually. So anyway, yeah, it's wrong there. Okay. I mean, in a regular film, if an actor breaks down and he cries, you can come out to an exterior of Central Park with the sound of the traffic and then go on with the film. But here, you have to see him cry and he's recovering himself and he's going on. And it cannot be an attention ballet. You have to keep the rope tight. So that was really, really difficult. It's difficult to notice when you see the film, but that was a real nightmare. But, well, it was a great collaboration, actually. I could do whatever with him. He was a gift. He's like a Stradivarius. He's taller than I. That's the problem, the only problem. I think, oh, he's seated now, and so you...
Is someone recording this? I made this back from my mom.
There actually, I mean, there are other actors that you use for the voices. And I wanted to ask in particular about I don't remember his name, the British gentleman. It's interesting that you...
Dan Brenner.
Yeah, Dan Brenner. Okay, so that there is something about a British voice that is calming and authoritative, even if he's supposed to be
That's
working
what I
for...
said. I was like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's British, which makes no sense at all.
That's sometimes mistaken for intelligence, that accent. But anyway, but I'm curious, was that intentional? Was it supposed to be somebody that kind of sounded like they knew what they were talking about, or?
Well, he came. Rob is his name. Rob Patterson, not the other one. He's an expat living in Barcelona, and he came in and he sort of read for the guy to play all the other roles. So I just had one person, but it ended up being a friend of mine who I've worked with for years. She came over and played all those roles instead, but he ended up being the voice of Dan Brenner, which he had a great voice, and it just worked out that way.
No, he's terrific. All right, let's see here. We gotta have you right here.
Since this was it seems like a tough shoot. So how much room was there to improvise on the set? Directing wise, acting wise.
Well, there was not much room there, I can tell you. So there was not much room for improvising either. No, we had to shoot in 17 days. That's crazy. That's nightmare. I mean that instead of shooting the regular number of 8 to 10 shots a day, and if you're very fast, you can do, I don't know, 15, we did about 30 to 35 shots a day, every day. One day we did 52. So I can tell you that we couldn't improvise, we just shot. We didn't even rehearse. I remember the first day, Ryan told me that he thought it was not a good idea rehearsing. And I said, are you lazy? I said, no, I want to discover the things that the character discovers at the same time that him. And, well, he was right. I could notice that he was serious. And actually, when we were shooting, we never rehearsed. I remember that the first day, we tried to do a kind of blocking at the beginning of the day. It simply didn't work. We decided just to shoot. We didn't even rehearse. We shot even the first day. We shot the rehearsals. So that's how fast we made it.
I didn't plan on I didn't think about the screaming at the beginning, all of that yelling, and I ripped my vocal cords apart. I mean, I had lost my voice the first day of shooting. I didn't lose it. It just turned into this kind of like, sort of like squeaky George Burns kind of thing that was going on there. But every day when I woke up in the morning, I had to grab a towel, wrap it around my mouth, and scream until I lost my voice again. And I still think about my poor fucking neighbors in Barcelona listening to this mass murderer who lives next door.